Hey, and welcome to Legacy Starts Today podcast, where we're passionate about living with purpose and starting our legacy today. I'm Lee Domingue, and I have the honor of having my beautiful wife, Laura, and three of my kids, Harrison, Winston, and Sam. They're all here joining me today. We've got a full house in the studio. We hope everyone's new year is off to a great start. Today, we're spicing it up. And instead of you hearing from me that my kids love this family meeting, you're going to get to hear their experience straight from them. You know, you guys be careful. This is being recorded and it's going to be shipped all over the world. So be careful what you say or you will get disinherited. Yeah. But let me introduce who's with us today. Got my lovely daughter-in-law, Samantha. We call her Sam. And she's just such a blessing. She actually is mom of three and just an amazing, amazing blessing to our family. Got my son Harrison, who goes with Sam as well. And he's, 27?
27.
Yep. And so he's a second son. And then got Chip off the block here, Winston Jr., which is our firstborn, who's 31 years old.
31.
Yeah, 31. And married for how long?
Been married for 9 years.
Wow, 9 years. Wow. Okay. Well, to lovely London.
London.
And have two kids. Yep.
4 and 2. It'll be 5 and 3.
What are their names?
Winston and Evelyn.
How about you guys? What are your kids' names?
Zara, Gray, and Beckham.
Yeah, Zara, Gray, and Beckham. All right. So
1,
we got
2, and
5
3.
grands. Yeah. All under 3?
All under 3.
Woo. Busy. Awesome. Well, guys, you know, we've been doing family meeting now for, I don't know, this is going to be our 6th year. And the whole concept coming up from, you know, just from what we were seeing, or I was seeing with businesses and how they would do offsites to prepare their teams with vision, with values, with mission, with, you know, kind of this is the direction in which what we're going. But no one was really doing that for the most part with their families. And so we got together 6 years ago and had our first family meeting. And so I think, it'd be great for the viewers to hear really from you guys, not only how long we've been doing it and all of that, but really your personal experience. Because a lot of times a parent can be, kind of dictate here, this is what we're going to do. It's my way or the highway. And in the family meeting, we made a commitment that it would be collaborative in nature. And I think collaboration is key because, you know, your mom and I always felt that we didn't want compliant kids. We wanted kids that had a heart change and owned their own salvation, owned their own relationship with God, and made decisions not because we told them, but because it was the right decision. Don't you think?
Yes, I think so. I think at a young age, we were always trying to build their identity, who they are in Christ, but also who they are as Domingues, as our family, and what we stand for, what we believe in, what we hold valuable, and we're trying to put that into our kids and hoping that one day they would take that themselves. And so I think this family meeting really took it a step further into who we are as Domingues, what do we believe, and help building that even as they're older and they can speak into it too, our traits, our values.
And I remember every day, every single day, when the kids were brought to school, we always had something that we did without fail. From Winston being a pre-K, yeah, all the way. And what was that?
The Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and give you peace.
And we'd all put our hands in like that.
3,
Domingue.
Yeah, that was kind of weak. But yeah. But we put our hands in together as we're driving in the car and put our hands in, and you see all these little hands jump in. And it was like 1, 2, 3, Domingues! And then it got less passionate as they got older because they had to be cool.
Yeah,
but
like, oh.
But when you stop doing it, they're like, hang on, we're going to do 1, 2, 3 Domingues. And so we still do that after every family meeting. But so when we started, how old were you, Winston, when we first started the family meeting?
I was 25. We had just moved to Birmingham with me and my wife, London, and she was pregnant with her first child.
Wow. So how have you seen it evolve over each year from your perspective?
Well, it's gotten a lot more kind of structured and organized as we kind of figured out how the best way to go from topic to topic, or what needs more time, what needs less time, and it's also from us point of view where we kind of know or able to easier get to a place of kind of vulnerability to like really talk about more than service level conversation, because we're pretty close as a family, but really kind of going beyond kind of just the basic interests that we know we all have, and kind of just talking about who we are and how we feel about the other person and what they mean to us is that's gotten deeper over time, and it's really kind of it's changed how the meeting has gone. I feel like.
So you think it's gotten more intimate, more depth to the conversation?
Well, and I feel like it's gotten like less awkward, I guess, as you go to it, because the time it took the first meeting to the last meeting we've had to go from like being together to like having serious conversation, I feel like decreases drastically, and people are generally more comfortable about having more serious conversation, or at least sharing how they feel about certain things. And,
You could go there quicker.
Yeah, you could go there
Because
quicker
of trust and experience.
and because you always trust your family, but it's very different. Most people don't have kind of very vulnerable conversations with their parents or with their siblings or whatever else. It's just it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I think like my younger siblings who were high school aged, middle school aged at the time, like I never had that type of conversation with them ever.
Yeah.
Because I was the age gap didn't really allow it to happen.
Wow. No, that's great. What about you, Harrison?
Yeah, so Sam and I, we had just gotten married. I was 21 years old, didn't know anything about life, still trying to figure that out. But for us, we had just gotten married. I was 21, Sam was 22. And I remember as we were talking, I just had a flashback of telling my Sam, be like, hey, we're doing this family meeting thing. I know you just signed up to all being a Domingue. I don't even really know what that's gonna look like, but we're gonna go off site with our family, and my dad just sent me an itinerary and a booklet and everything. We don't know what's going on, but looking back now, just getting to our first year of marriage, going into this, honestly, it helped just establish values, even to seeing how it's evolved. Our family values have evolved. I was thinking about it earlier, just how amazing it is getting from learning how to lead my wife as you are leading our family. It's been modeled before us for so long, but including our spouse in it and how it's evolved through that. It's just been amazing. So,
Sam, daughter in love?
What's the question?
Yeah, question is how has it evolved each year? And they kind of ran with it a little bit, but so you can expound. So how has it evolved over the years that we've done it? And that, if you want to share maybe some impactful experience or takeaway.
Yeah, I feel like I came in on a good time because it's the first family meeting. So this is the first year I was officially Domingue. Don't tell me short now, because anything that they say to do, I'm all in. He makes me sound like I was nervous or something, but
I was nervous.
yeah, right? Yeah, like what is this?
It was more me being nervous.
Yeah,
not knowing what was going on.
I'll never forget the first one. I feel like y'all had a vision, you had a heart to bring our family closer together. But I think what was so cool is I'll never forget Winston. One of the questions y'all asked, you asked a question like, share a characteristic about each person of the family that you love. And I don't even think you realized how deep we were going to go. Like, very first one, I remember, Winston, you started off, and it was just like, okay, this is so valuable, like really broke down the walls for the family.
And we cried a lot.
And we cried a lot. And I think that took everyone,
crying.
yeah, and it took everyone off guard. I don't think y'all even really knew like what that was going to do. So I think it's been really cool to see like each year everyone get closer. And as the daughter-in-law, like it's just grafted me into the family even more. So I love the family meeting. I think it's been great every year. I think you're right. Like, we get closer and closer, and it gets more and more comfortable to be on each other's team, know what each other is really going through, and what's on everyone's heart. So
Well, and something that was really cool on the experiences side was, our family's very large. We have a lot of opinions that, everyone's kind of got their own ideas on certain things, but the thing that really, meant a lot to me was the fact of how we all got to come together and collaborate and set values together. So, our family has 9 values, and in those 9 values, every single person's represented, and every single person agrees that this should be our values and why, but every single person has a seat at the table to dictate our values and why, as Domingues, we identify as those and that we live those out. And so I think for me, one of the best takeaways was, being able to be heard in my family, being able to be in agreement with me in what we're trying to live out with our little family through our larger family.
Yeah. No, that's great. How about you, love?
The question is, how has it evolved? I think, kind of tagging on what Sam said, is the first year we did it, we had no idea. We thought we would say a few things, didn't know how emotional it was going to be, didn't know it was going to take so long, didn't know because it was so emotional. But those moments are so powerful. And for me as a mom, it was so powerful for me, not just the great traits they were saying to me, but it was so powerful for me to see my children affirm each other at their different ages. Yeah. And, I think Bella the first year was only 10. And so she was like, I like you because you're, you have strawberries. I don't know. She was but seeing at the different levels of her maturity and you guys that were married. So to me, it was such a blessing. And I think as the years have gone on, we continue to do it. I don't think we would ever stop that because stop the affirmations and the things like that. People have asked me before, as it's evolving, were you going to stop doing that? I just don't think so, because it's so powerful. And there's always more to say, because all of us are always on a different journey. What has happened this last year? Everyone, what has this last year happened in everyone's lives? It's been a little bit different, and there's been seasons that have been harder for others and easier for others, and so we're always meeting each other.
No, it's great. I know the first time that we did it, we were so intimidated. We were nervous. We didn't know what we were doing, and it seemed even awkward at times at the very beginning because you're trying to feel it out. But, what's the vision? What's the values? What's the mission? All of those different things. But when we went to the affirmations exercise, which, you come prepared, at least the first year, you come prepared with 3 character traits that you want to affirm in that person and why. And you have to look at that person and say it, because you may both know you feel that way, but there's something about looking the person in the eye and saying it to them. And we went through boxes of Kleenex. It was like ugly crying. It was the ugly kind of cry.
It was not a little teardrop
No
falling.
makeup.
No.
No. But I would say this, it took 3 hours, that affirmations exercise. Yes, we have a big family, but it took 3 hours to get that done. And but it just set the tone. I think walls came down, and to your point, Winston, it's like it takes time to kind of get really to some substantive, real, heartfelt conversation.
Getting out of the normal life work mode where, part of that is, the retreat, having the meeting away from, your house, where you can kind of get out of that whatever daily activities you have and kind of have those real moments.
Yeah, no, that's great. What's been the most impactful experience with the family meeting? What's the most impactful for you?
Probably the most impactful is going forward now that we have children of our own, of having that exercise with just me in London, where we're figuring out is, how are we going to impart these values and kind of the different parts of it of, every night before we do prayers with my kids, we do hands in 1, 2, 3 Domingues.
Wow.
It's just small things like that. The family meeting made me figure out what is important and what things do I want to impart to my kids that have been imparted to me from you guys.
It's awesome. How about you, H?
Yeah, for me, kind of touched on it earlier, being able to establish our values and what we believe. And I think nowadays in today's society, it's so important to know what you believe and how to be able to defend it. And our family is naturally good at arguing back and forth on taking defenses and, being able to.
That's on your
prove-
mom's side.
Yeah. Exactly. So being able to do that. But one thing that probably, I want to say, was almost just as impactful, that honestly kind of really surprised me, and I've shared this with y'all maybe before, but being able to affirm my wife in front of my family, but seeing my family affirm my wife collectively, it just did something for me in the sense of seeing how everyone loves my spouse and seeing them honor and love my spouse the way I do. It just, I don't know, it just solidified something in me, just made me just so grateful, and it just meant a lot to me.
That's awesome.
That's so sweet. Don't make me cry now.
Yeah.
Gosh, now I gotta follow you, all teary. I would say, just as parents, like going off of what you said, Winston, I think having a model for how to do this with our family, I think is so valuable. I think, like even being a part of student ministry and like my job, like thinking about how to train this next generation. And I'm grateful that you guys are training us how to parent and lead well. So
good. So good. So what's something that you look forward to as we prepare for the upcoming family meeting and, kind of going through and have had a great Christmas and ended the year well. It was been a crazy year in 2021, but there's been so many blessings along the way. But as we prepare for our next family meeting, what do you look forward to each year?
Well, now that we've gotten, older and people, not everyone lives, all together, just to having the concentrated time of everyone being in the same place to where I'm able to, have that quality time, because every now and then I'll call, brothers and we'll have good conversation, but it's just different whenever you're doing the meeting side, because not every single conversation you have is just like some teary, heartfelt thing.
That's a lot of laughing, and eating good food, and having a great time. Yeah,
and it just kind of it puts you in the situations to where there's no it's more than just like you had dinner together and then everybody went back to their respective places. It I don't know. That's what I look forward to the most. It's just all the time together.
Getting everyone together. We have, for those listening right now, we also have 3 other kids who are equally as valued, though they didn't get a seat at the table for several reasons. But we have Grayson, our son, who lives in Oklahoma City, who's in orthopedic surgery residency, so he's busy, and his lovely bride, our daughter-in-law, Lauren, they're expecting their first child in probably like a couple months. Yeah. And so we can't wait for the precious little, I'm not going to say the name in case they decide to change it, but it's a she, and we're so excited for them as well. And then London, Winston's wife, as well. And then we've also got Bella, who is, she's 17, going to be going to college next year. Still don't know where she's going, but hopefully it's close. And then Ashton, who is a senior at Sanford University on the track team there. And so, but we are, I think, a family who has been very intentional, and you guys didn't have to do it. Like, you guys could have bucked it. You guys could have, I know Mom and I talk about this a lot. We're very grateful for the fact that y'all want to hang out, or that y'all want to, because there's a lot of families that's not happening. And so, we're really grateful for y'all intentionality as well. For we make it fun. And I think parents, if you're going to do the family meeting, do the first year, learn from it. It's going to be awkward. Suck it up and keep doing it, because you are investing in amazing future for not only your kids, but your grandkids and generations to come. And that's really what legacy is all about. It's about investing your life in someone else, in a next generation who's going to replace you. And so we're really grateful for that. Okay, I got a couple more questions. We got a few minutes left, and I want to make the most of it. Do you guys have any encouragement for anyone listening that wants to start but feels unsure about it for whatever reason that could be?
So I was a youth pastor for about 5 years at our Grants Mill campus, and I got to spend so much time with students and parents of all different walks of life, and just wanted to encourage some of the parents that may be on the fence about doing this. You know, one of the our parents aren't perfect, but they've always tried, and they've given it 110% effort into pouring into our lives and creating environments for us to be healthy, but to be able to create good family culture. And there's so many students that I have met and talked to over the years that they're not looking for perfection, they're not looking for anything, they're just looking for effort from their mom or from their dad. And so if I can just encourage you to kind of, prepare an environment for your kids to be able to do this family meeting. Do not discount. So many parents discount the time of uninterrupted time with mom and dad, what that actually means to that teenage son or daughter. So if I can encourage you, it means a lot more than you think, and it would just be the trajectory of your family will be forever different from it.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I would say, I want you guys to add to this, but I would say that just to go ahead and start. Don't worry if you have a blended family. If some of your kids are older and you think, I've missed this, or my kids are too young. I feel like if you just go ahead and start at the place where you are, you will not regret it. And here's what I'm saying, you don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be. It is just more like, I love you guys, I want to pour into you, and I want, you're important to me, your value, our family is valuable, putting that out there. And I think I've heard a lot of people come back and say to me, well, we're blended, and I don't know.
Or a single parent. Yeah.
And I say, just start, just go ahead and start it, and it can evolve each year.
Yeah, and that's such a great point, Laura, because so many families now are blended. And so whether blended family, single parent, or whether even your kids you think are at an age to be able to maybe get anything out of it, I would encourage you, whether your kids are real young, make it age specific. So shorten up the family meeting guide, and then what you can do is, maybe it's not a day and a half, maybe it's an hour and a half, and you're starting to leak these principles and starting to leak this language and speaking it into your kids. And it gives you as parents the ability to walk through it a few times. And then as they grow up, because I saw that with Bella. Bella was 10 years old, and I'll never forget, we had these packets made with names on it, and we had agenda, and we had a PowerPoint presentation. We're in this boardroom of a hotel, and all of y'all are sitting around the boardroom, and then there's a little Bella. And her nose is right at the table. But she equally had, her packet. It's like it was from a board meeting from a Fortune 100 company. But we set it to be excellent. And so it's normal for her now because she was exposed to it at an early age. And so I just encourage all parents, as we say, legacy starts today. Well, your family meeting, start now, and start taking your kids through that.
Yeah. I think about the starting now is important because about doing it each year, it builds on itself to where
that's great. Yep.
The relationships you get, the deeper relationships, the kind of the breaking down of some awkwardness or some social views people have where we don't talk about those sorts of things in our family gatherings. There's certain things that we just don't touch because we don't want to be exposed or vulnerable with the other person and cause any problems. And if you don't take the step, then you won't ever kind of get the good out of it. So
that's great.
I think too, without vision, the people perish, and I think kids have a lot of opportunity to get vision from a lot of different places. And so I think this is a really great opportunity for parents to establish, this is the vision for our family. This is who we are. don't look to social media for who you are. Like we are these values. This is what we're doing. So I think that's invaluable for your kids to be able to hear that from you. They're not looking for vision because they have it.
That's so important. I know in your role at Highland, Sam, you oversee a lot of students ministry, and so you're right at ground zero in the whole students dynamic. And I think one of the things that you're talking about is the world is gonna try, or no, not gonna. The world is putting values on your kids, and they're trying to indoctrinate them with the values that the world says are this is the way it is. Whereas when you have them collaboratively build the values, because everyone in their heart, I think, knows right and wrong. And I think over time, though, it gets tainted. Over time, it gets, so if you give them, don't just tell them values, give them something that's better. And let's walk through this journey, because really the family meeting guide is taking a journey. It's taking a journey together, don't you think? Yes. And taking a journey together, that we're building this together. It's not just dictated by dad or mom. We're building this together, and we're giving them something better. They're going to go, they may, someone listening today, your child may be far from God. Your child may be mixed up in drugs or a bad crowd or whatever. But don't give up thinking that they can't turn back from that. Because when they taste something that's better, I think that when those opportunities to get off track come, they're going to remember, you know what, I maybe dabbled in that, but I've tasted something better. And I want that. And hence, that's what we've always felt. We try, look, again, we don't want you to be compliant. We want you to choose right because you believe in it. And so we're the Domingues, and this is what we believe. This is who we are.
And also, we're here for you. And I think that's another thing that that is like, we're putting this time there for you. We're devoting like we care about everything about your life. We aren't just, hey, see you at Thanksgiving. See you next year. Hope you do well. Yeah. We're invested, and we want to be a part, and we want to help, and we want to be together. We want to do our lives together. And so I think.
And when like the whole collaboration aspect helps build in that you're not just being drug along for it. It feels like you're having some ownership into kind of what's going forward.
That's really, really good. Well, guys, you guys are amazing, and what a blessing. I've been looking forward to doing this, and didn't realize that we could get 5 people in here. And so we'll need to do another podcast and, get Grayson and Ashton and Bella and Lauren in here, and London in here as well. So need to get a bigger studio. But thank you guys so much, and thank you, family, for
of course.
I think you're giving principles and helping people. So Mom and I are so proud of y'all and love y'all a ton. And but thank you, everyone, for joining us here on Legacy Starts Today podcast. You can find more information about the Family Meeting Guide at kingdombuilders.us.
I want to encourage you, it is never too late to start the family meeting, and there is no perfect family. No matter if you're young, old, blended, or maybe feeling a little broken, there is always hope in the step you can take now.
I believe God has a great year in store for you and your family, and we can't wait to hear how He uses this tool in your life. Remember, it's a family meeting guide, and it's your roadmap to building a godly legacy. Until next time, remember, your legacy starts today.